Hi, it is May 26th, Friday, May 26th, and I got a haircut, and I got my eyebrows done and my face done, and I want to thank the second person before I thank the first person. I want to thank Claudia in Bay Ridge, who she's just an awesome mom and an awesome hairstylist, and she took a lot of healthy mess and made me presentable. So shout out to Claudia. My first thank you goes to my husband, George, who is here, and we don't live together, and that's a whole nother month of videos if you wanted to know. But he wanted to do something nice for me, and he wanted to gift me things, and we have issues and conflicts when we try to do that. So I'm going to invite him and this isn't scripted either, so this might be a mess. But just to kind of talk about what it's like being married to someone with mental illness and how he manages that, and what changes, what conscious efforts he makes. And I see the conscious efforts. The language he chooses is different. So he's going to join me, and we are going to see if we can shed some light to some things. This is George. That's my husband. Hi.
Hello.
So how would you explain what happened the last couple days when he first sent me a text message and said, would I spend the money on something that he told me, if he gave me money, would I spend it the way he wanted me to? And I said, probably not. So I didn't hear back. He didn't even respond.
Never does.
So then he asked me if he can get me a manicure and a pedicure and get my eyebrows done. And what did I say?
Yeah. Kind of like that.
Okay, which you read as what?
She didn't want that. Or it was like an issue, or was causing anxiety and frustration and like a whole assortment of other feelings behind what she actually said.
So I explained to him, I kind of prioritized what I thought was important, and we worked it out.
Yes.
And I ended up getting everything. What I want and what he wanted me to get.
It ended up being everything.
Everything. But what I realized about it, and what George and I talked about before, is that it's really hard for me to accept things. And I think that goes back to the feeling worthy. And as much as I can be like, oh, I feel great, or I'm wonderful, if you're giving me something, I'm thinking about the kids to give it to. I'm thinking about the next person who just did something wonderful to me, and I want to give it to them. And I've always justified that because I'm like, I'm generous, or I want to serve these people. And it makes him struggle because
that ain't why I gave the money. That ain't
that's
why
right.
I did it.
He wants to give it to me. But it is really hard for me to accept his gifts, or to accept his compliments, or even accept his friendship and kindness and support sometimes. So how do you deal with that? How does that make you feel?
First of all, we break up like 3 times a month because of it. Like, just done. But it's interesting because in the beginning, it was something that I just hated, and I thought it was part of what she always identified as was like this cycle. She's like, we always have this cycle we go through. And I'm like, and always thought that pattern, that thinking was part of the cycle. Now, what I'm thankful about it for is that it just makes me listen a lot. Like, I have to listen. And it sounds like it's a draining thing, but what I'm learning, though, the good part about it is that I still end up getting what I want, but in listening, I get a better understanding of what she values and what's really important to her. And that was a big part about it. I mean, I had in my head what I wanted. I wanted to see nice nails and hands, and I love her eyebrows when they're done. It's like, oh, I want to see that. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I don't think about the hair all the time. I just want to make sure that it's always staying long, which is not this time. But anyways, for her, she was like, it's more important for me to have healthy hair than it is to have good
pretty
nails.
Feet.
And
who's
pretty
gonna see my feet?
I don't.
Oh, sorry.
Like
go ahead.
Me, I'm gonna see the feet, but still, that was important. So before, I would have been like, she wants to just have this done. Now I understand into where, okay, this is what makes her feel her best. This is what makes her feel comfortable. This is what helps her to be in a better place without anxiety and the doubt and the frustration.
Good. I like that.
You like that?
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to mention, which I did not prep you for at all, was back in the day, it's very hard to kind of get the help you need when you're in a situation with someone and they can be the reason why you blame your issues. So, George, we've had a rough marriage and George made some mistakes. Absolutely. And it was very easy for me to be like, I'm sad, but once I'm away from him, I'll be happy. And he's just trifling, and once I'm away from him, I'll be happy. And I pushed, and then I left, and I was like, done. And that wasn't a bad decision, but I needed that clarity to kind of see that some of those things, all the things I need to work on were with me regardless of him. Before I got married, as a married wife, and now as we were trying to work things out, and I heal on my own and he heals on his own. But back in the day when, before the diagnosis and when we were just arguing and just married people argue, and, I was the crazy Spanish woman. And, that's just, it's something that people say about women in my culture all the time. We're fiery, we're passionate, we're crazy. And,
fiery.
And we use words like fiery now as opposed to crazy because I don't like that word. Mm-mm. And I'm not crazy. Am I sensitive to certain things? Yes. Am I highly intuitive? Yes. So, it's a gift and a curse. But we're very careful not to use the word crazy.
No, I don't.
That's not a word we use. And I don't suggest you use it to your people, whether they have a diagnosis or not. It's rude. Don't be rude. So I think we're done.
We are. I will say that when I did say it before, like most of us though, if you've ever used that word before, it didn't really directly mean that. But again, that's the good part about this for me. It's just another level of awareness. And it doesn't just make me think about how I talk to her. It makes me think about even how I talk to my kids. I got to realize, okay, what are the words that just send across the wrong message that I might have said in jest or in the moment or anything along those lines. So, another point. Thank you.
Right. All right. Bye. We'll see you tomorrow.